ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। यन्नित्यमानन्दमनन्तमेकं शिवेति नाम्ना श्रुतयो गृह्णन्ति तस्यावतारो नररूपधारी कृपासुदाब्धि भुवि रामकृष्णः। जननीं शारदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयोश्चित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्रीयतिराजाय विवेकानन्दसूरये सच्चित्सुखस्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरोः प्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि शरीरबन्धात्। सर्वोपतेष्टुः पुरुषोत्तमस्य तस्याङ्घ्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याता सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's Aratrikam, which was composed by Swami Vivekananda, is full of Vedantic teachings. Last few classes we have seen the philosophical significance of first shloka of this Aratri song, Khandana Bhavabandhana Jagavandana Vandhitomai Niranjana Nararupadhara Nirguna Gunamai. By using Upanishadic words, Swami Vivekananda reveals the nature of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna as Nirguna Brahman, an entity which doesn't have any attribute and at the same time which can manifest as the entire creation has taken a particular form in the name of Sri Ramakrishna. I surrendered to that entity in order to remove my samsara bandhana. This first shloka contains the teachings about the Nirguna Brahman, Saguna Brahman, Avatara Tattvam, Moksha Sadhanam and Jiva Swarupam. In the previous classes we have seen the very fact that entire creation is none other than the Lord Himself. A Jiva doesn't have any locus standi to stand apart from the Lord. When there is no locus standi at all, when there is no separateness at all, there is no question of bondage. There is no distance between the Lord and the individual, either space-wise or time-wise. But there is a difference between the Lord and the individual in terms of his understanding. Due to ignorance, the individual thinks that he is different from the Lord. That is called Atma Ajnanam, and that can be removed by Atma Jnanam. To gain that Atma Jnanam, a devotee surrenders to the Lord by following a particular sadhana initially, which is called Nama Sankirtan, and ultimately the devotee gets rid of the samsara by knowing the truth. This is the meaning which we have seen in the previous classes about the first shloka. Now we will go to second shloka. The second shloka reads like this: Mochana agadhushana jagabhushana chidgana kai Jnananjana vimala nayana vikshane mohaha jai. All the words are Sanskrit words. Only two words are written in the form of Bengali language. Chidghana Kai. In Bengali, Chidghana Kai. In Sanskrit, it means Chidghana Kayaha. Mohaha Jai. In Bengali, Mohaha Gacchati in Sanskrit. The simple meaning of this shloka is, O Lord, you are the embodiment of pure consciousness. You are the ornament of this creation, and this creation is the ornament for you. You are the destroyer of self-ignorance. Your eyes are pure and smeared with Atma-jnanam. By your glance, our delusion disappears. Therefore, we surrender to you to get rid of this self-ignorance. If you see the shloka word by word, He Chidgana Kayaha, O embodiment of pure consciousness. Chidganam Chaitanya Swarupam Yasya Kayaha Chidgana Kayaha, whose body is the embodiment of Chaitanyam. He Jagabhushana, second word. Jagat Yasya Bhushanam, for whom this creation is an ornament. Another meaning is there for this word, Jagataha Bhushanam, Jagabhushanam, ornament of this creation. First meaning is, for Ishvara, the entire creation is an ornament. Second meaning is, creation is bigger. In that creation, Avatara is an ornament. Then third word, He Mochane Agadhushane. Agam means papam. Dushana agam. Despicable sin. Means Atma Ajnana. Generally, any adharmic action is called sinful action. That action is due to self-ignorance. The cause is self-ignorance. Therefore, ignorance also is called a sin. Dushana agam. Tasya mochanaha agadushana mochanaha. Destroyer of self-ignorance. Then fourth word, He Jnananjana Vimala Nayana. One whose eyes are pure, since those eyes are smeared with collyrium called Samadarshanam or Atma-jnana. Human beings apply some collyrium. Collyrium means what they call, Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க மையின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, கண்ணு மை, a type of paste, black color paste. So ordinary eyes are smeared with a type of black color paste which is called collyrium. But the Lord's eyes are smeared with collyrium called Atma-jnanam, Jnananjana Nayanaha. Due to that applying of that collyrium, the eyesight become very clear. Vimala Nayanaha. Jnanam eva anjanam jnananjanam. Here the collyrium is knowledge alone. The knowledge is applied to his eyes. Therefore, jnananjanena vimalaha nayanam yasya jnananjana vimala nayanaha. Fifth word is Vikshane mohaha jai. Vikshane mohaha gacchati. By that pure eyes, if you have a glance on us, our delusion, otherwise our self-ignorance is destroyed. We want to get rid of our self-ignorance, therefore we surrender to you. That is the word by word meaning. Like first shloka, the second shloka also contains lot of philosophical meanings, lot of Vedantic teachings. Let us take the first word, Chidghana Kayaha. In that word itself, another word is hidden, Chidganaha. Chidganaha refers to Nirguna Brahma Tattvam. Chidganaha means Shuddha Chaitanyam. Maya Rahita Chaitanya. In Vedantic teaching, Chaitanyam is described in two ways. One is Shuddha Chaitanyam, another is Ashuddha Chaitanyam. One is pure consciousness, another is consciousness with attributes. Chit Ganaha means Shuddha Chaitanyam, Maya Rahita Chaitanyam, without any attributes. That means Nirguna Chaitanyam, that means Brahman. Therefore, it is not available for any transaction. We can transact with a thing only if it has some attributes. Attributes means some form, some name, some concept, like that. It should have an attribute. Being Shuddha Chaitanyam, this Brahman doesn't have any transaction. Can you at least define it? Shastra says, Manovak agocharaha. You cannot even define. What is the definition of Brahman? That which cannot be defined is called Brahman. That is the definition of Brahman. Not available for any pramanam. Aprameya vastu. We have 6 types of pramanams. Pratyaksham, Anumanam, Upamanam, Anupalabdhi, Arthapatti and Shabda. All these 6 pramanas will not have any access to the Chaitanyam, pure consciousness. Then without pramanam, how can we know that whether it exists or not? Shastra says, you need not know it through pramanam, and you cannot know it through pramanam because it is swatasiddham. It exists. In the previous classes I gave an example. Suppose somebody comes and asks, do you have 100 rupees? You have to tell, let me see, let me check. Do you have this particular object in your house? You will tell, let me check, let me see. Is there the person in your house? Let me check. So anything other than you, if it is asked, what you have to tell? Let me check. You have to use your praman. Suppose the person asks, are you existing? Let me check. You cannot say that. So swatasiddham. Other objects in the creation can prove their existence through the operation of pramanam, source of knowledge or instrument of knowledge. An object with forms and colors can be known through eyes. An object which is in the form of sound can be known through ears. An object which is in the form of taste can be known through tongue. An object which is in the form of smell can be known through nose. An object which is in the form of touch, sparsha, can be known through the sparshana sakti. An object which doesn't have any form and at the same time has some attributes can be inferred through mind. How can you know the propertyless entity? If anybody asks, and that propertyless entity is called the knower. Swatasiddham. First person singular doesn't require any instrument of knowledge to prove its existence. First person singular means what? The word I. I don't require any instrument of knowledge to prove my existence. I means not this 5 feet 6 inches I. I means that I-ness or consciousness or awareness or chaitanyata. So that doesn't require any instrument of knowledge to prove its existence. That's why Upanishad describes that entity, atrayam purushaha swayam jyotihi bhavati. In daytime, we find lot of objects in our life through the help of sense organs and sunlight. In night time, we recognize their presence through sense organs and other forms of lights. But whether it is daytime or night time, how we recognize our existence? It is Swatas Siddham Swayam Jyotihi. It is called Swayam Jyotihi. In another place, Upanishad says, Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, nema vidyuto bhantihi, kutoyam agnihi. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. The first person singular, the consciousness is not revealed by Suryaha. Consciousness reveals Suryaha. Consciousness is not revealed by Suryaha. Similarly, consciousness reveals Chandra, Nakshatra, Vidyut. Tameva bhantam. I exist, therefore I could recognize the existence of all these objects. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. In another place, Upanishad says, Na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati, no manaha, na vidmaha, na vijanimaha. Na tatra chakshur gacchati. By any form of pratyaksha pramanam, you cannot know this. Therefore it is called chidghanaha. When the word chidghanaha is combined with word kayaha, kayaha means form, body. The word chidghanaha is combined with the word kayaha, gives you chidghana kayaha. Kayaha means body. Here Upanishad describes Ishvara as chidghana kayaha. Vedanta describes Ishvara as chidghana kayaha. Embodiment of pure consciousness. Embodiment means what? Assuming a body. Human being's body is pancha bhautikam, made up of pancha bhutas. But Ishvara's body is not pancha bhautikam, it is chidghanam. So chidghana kayaha word means either Ishvara or Avatara. Ishvara means one who is the creator of the entire creation is called Ishvara. Avatara means the very same Ishvara comes in a particular form inside the creation. Ishvara is the creator of the creation. Avatara is the indweller in the creation. Both of them can be referred as Chidghana Kayaha. That attributeless Chaitanyam, Nirguna Brahman, when it is associated with Maya Shakti, Trigunatmika Maya Shakti, the same entity is called Ishvaraha. Like sweetness, which doesn't have any form, is associated with the particular form, gets the name Laddu, Jilepi, Jangri. The formless Akasha, the formless space, when it is associated with a particular form, then known as Ghatakasha, part space. If it is associated with a part form, it is called part space, room space, stomach space. In stomach also there is a space. That's why after taking full meal, the person says, No place. Little bit ice cream, okay, we will manage. So space is there. It doesn't have any limitation, but when it is associated with particular form, it gets that name. Similarly, here also, Nirguna Brahman, when it is associated with Maya Shakti, it is called Saguna Ishvaraha. In devotional language, he is called Bhagavan. He or she is called Bhagavan, Bhagavati. In English, God. So, Chidgana Kayaha means Saguna Ishvaraha, God, manifests in various forms. As various deities. Trimurtis. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Then Ekadasha Rudras, Adityas, like that varieties of forms, that same, one and the same Saguna Ishvara manifests. Sa Brahma, sa Shiva, sa Hari, Sendra, Sokshara, Paramaswarad, like that it says. So every form of Ishvara is called Chidgana Kayaha. When the same Ishvara manifests as an avatara, that avatara form also is called Chidgana Kayaha. So, Chidgana Kayaha word can refer to both Ishvara and avatara. Ishvara or God can appear and disappear instantaneously, which cannot be done by ordinary human being, ordinary jiva. You cannot appear and disappear instantaneously. If it happens in your house, they will be crying. Suppose suddenly you appear in house, the house is locked inside, and you are knocking, they are not opening, you just appear inside. What will happen in the family? They will think you are Bhuta. A Pishasha has come, like that they will think. Correct? So you cannot appear and disappear. Whereas God can appear and disappear instantaneously. When a devotee meditates, locking the room, he sits and meditates. Because of his devotion, Bhagavan suddenly can appear in front of him without opening the door. If a friend comes to meet that person, he has to knock the door. Whereas Bhagavan, if Bhagavan comes, he can suddenly appear. And after giving boon, he can suddenly disappear. How it is possible? Because that form, that body is not Pancha Bhautikam. It is not under the control of Pancha Bhutas. It is not made up of Pancha Bhutas. It is made up of Maya Shakti. Aghadita Ghatana Patiyasi Maya. Therefore, God can appear and disappear. God can appear in many forms simultaneously. God can appear in many forms simultaneously. You take any particular moment of time. Say for example 6:5. In the entire creation, at that particular moment, many people may be praying. Evening 6 o'clock, 5 minutes suppose. One person may be praying to the Lord who is in the form of Ganesha. Another person may be praying to the Lord who is in the form of Devi. Another person to the Lord who is in the form of Vishnu. He can appear in front of them simultaneously. Suppose when we are sitting in the temple, each one will have our own Ishta Devata, correct? So Bhagavan can appear in any form. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhaktaha shraddhayarchitum ichchati tasya tasya chalam shraddham tameva vidhadam yaham. Yo yo yam yam tanum. In whatever way, whoever meditates on my form, I appear in that form. In another place, Bhagavan says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamyaham. In whatever way he approaches me. If he approaches me as a Satvik Devata, I appear to him in front of him as Satvik Devata, as Vishnu, as Saraswati, as Lakshmi. If he approaches me as Rajasik Devata, I appear to him as Rajasik Devata. Like that, God can appear in many forms to various devotees simultaneously. But every form is Bhagavan's form only. How many gods are there? People ask. How many gods are there? How many sweets are there? How many sweets are there? Generally people will tell, many sweets are there. So you have to tell them, there is only one sweet which can be enjoyed in many forms. Similarly, there is one entity which can assume varieties of forms according to the wish of the devotee. According to the wish of the child chooses in a sweet stall, I want this sweet. Another child chooses another sweet. But both the children, suppose if they quarrel, my sweet is best. My sweet is best. The sweet shop wala will tell what? What he will tell? Initially he will enjoy their quarrel. Then once it becomes little bit troublesome, what he will tell? Both are same. Both are same in spite of having different form, different color. Similarly, for Vishnu Bhakta, one and the same Ishvara appears as Vishnu. For Shiva Bhakta as Shiva. For Devi Bhakta as Devi. That's why he can appear in many forms. We can invoke him, that's why we can invoke him in any form. In Vedic culture, that is the beautiful freedom given to us, which is not understood by other people. Which God you worship, they ask. The very question is a wrong question. Hindus worship so many gods. People give the judgment. What is our Vedic culture? There is no so many gods. Only one God, according to the inclination of the devotee, is worshipped. That's why in Vedic culture, every form is an object of our worship. One milestone is enough for us to build a temple. Roadside milestone is there, na? If the kilometer written on that milestone is erased and you apply that turmeric powder and kumkum, second fellow will give you one mala. Third fellow will put incense sticks. Fourth fellow will put one hundi box. Fifth fellow will come and erect a shelter. Sixth fellow will have a compound. Seventh fellow will pour abhisheka, milk abhishek. For others, it's a matter of criticism, but for a Hindu, he knows. Bhagavan Sarvagataha. Wherever I invoke, he has to come. He cannot say, I will not manifest in this form. In any Panchabhuta, he can manifest. In Kala Tattvam, he can manifest. Dhanam, Dhanyam, Pashum, Bahuputra Lavam, he can manifest. So, every form is an object of our worship. How it is possible? We saw in the previous classes, because Bhagavan is Upadana Karanam, raw material of this creation. Satyatyacha bhavat niruktancha niruktancha nilayanancha nilayanancha vijnanancha vijnanancha yatitam kincha satyancha nrutancha satyam abhavat. Satyam abhavat. That ultimate reality Abhavat, manifested. How? Satchatcha bhavat. Sad tet abhavat. Like that Upanishad beautifully describes Bhagavan being the cause of this creation. He can be invoked in any form. That is why he can appear in many forms simultaneously to various devotees. So, there is no deshataha parichinnatvam. We cannot appear in many forms. Morning one form, evening one form, for spouse one form, for friend another form. If you appear, what will happen? There is no possibility of transaction at all. But Bhagavan can appear. For a devotee, Bhagavan can appear morning in the form of Shiva, if he goes to Shiva temple. And evening he goes to Devi temple. Same Bhagavan only he knows. Because no contradiction for him. He appears as Devi. Not only he doesn't have spatial limitation, he doesn't have kalataha limitation, time-wise limitation also. That is why he can appear in front of a devotee wherever he is. One person is sitting and meditating in India. Another person is sitting and meditating in USA. Another person in Russia. Another person in Afghanistan, suppose. Bhagavan can appear simultaneously. Therefore, he is called Chidghana Kayaha. How it is possible? Because his body is not limited by space, time and properties. Desha Kala Vastu Parichinna Rahitatva. This is the first meaning of Chidghana Kayaha. What is the first meaning? Ishvara is referred as Chidghana Kayaha. The creator of this entire creation is referred through the word Chidghana Kayaha. Second meaning for this word Chidghana Kayaha is Avatara also can be called Chidghana Kayaha. Because Avatara's body also is not limited by space, time and causality. Avatara is inside the creation. Ishvara is the creator of the creation. I hope you understand the difference. Ishvara is the creator of the entire creation, source of the creation. Avatara is not source of the creation, but he is inside the creation, having a particular form. For that Avatara also, his body also not limited by Desha Kala Vastu Parichinnatvam. That's why when Hiranyakashipu asked, where is your God? What Prahlada told? Everywhere. Is he in this particular pillar? Prahlada says, when I say everywhere, he is in the particular pillar also. So Narasimha Avatara is inside the creation, but at the same time, not limited by Desha or Vastu Parichinnatvam Nasti. See, any living being can come from another living being, correct? Here you see, Narasimha Avatara suddenly manifests. Vastu Parichinna Rahitatvam. And in Ramayana, Rama appears as 10,000 Ramas during the battle between Karadushana and Rama. He appeared as 10,000 Rama. For everyone, another person is Rama. Like that he appeared. And in Krishna Avatara time, he appeared 16,000 Krishna. He appeared as 16,100 Krishna's form. To marry 16,100 girls at a time simultaneously. Not only as Krishna he appeared, as Tavilvan, as Nadaswaravan, as Cook, as Prohit, everything Krishna. And during childhood, when Brahmaji carried away the cows and cowherd boys, just to see the strength of the Lord, Bhagavan did not go to search all these cows and cowherd boys. What he did? All right, you have taken. I will make it, don't worry. So he himself has become all forms of the cowherd boys. So if a boy is wearing yellow color shirt, the shirt also he became. He became shirt, trouser. And the lati, tiffin box. Not only cow farm. Whatever the children brought from the house, that inert objects also he became. Otherwise mothers will find out, hey, this is not the tiffin box belong to our house. Something might have happened. So, in order to avoid confusion, as it is he became. He became all the cowherd boys. He became all the cows. If a cow has particular black color above the nose, that also he became. Below the tail, that also became. So exactly he became. Brahmaji, who has taken all these things, when he found Krishna, he has not come in search after that. So he came and saw, Hari, which one is real now? Here also Sudama is there, here also Sudama is there. One is Sudama taken by Brahma, another is Krishna appears as Sudama. Like that he got confused. So he can become any form. Avatar also can become any form. In Vamana Avatara, you see, when he approached Mahabali Chakravarti, he approached as a small boy, Brahmachari. And he showed his small feet. Through these feet alone, I want 3 feet. Measurement of land. So that Mahabali Chakravarti criticizes. I thought you are an intelligent fellow. Generally Brahmins are intelligent in asking boon. Dana. You are in that kula. You don't know how to ask donation. When you ask donation, you should ask a bigger donation. Smaller donation you are asking. Only 3 feet. Yes, I want 3 feet only. When Mahabali gave the 3 feet, what happened? The entire creation could not measure 3 feet. Just 2 feet of measurement he has measured. He became huge suddenly. Suppose if that happens, you are receiving birthday gift from your friend. Suddenly your form becomes huge. What will happen? All will run away. So, Avatara's form also are Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna, Rahitani. In the life of Bhagavan Sri Ram Krishna, we find after the physical demise of Sri Ram Krishna, Sarada Devi wanted to remove that tilaka, Mangala tilaka. Then suddenly Sri Ram Krishna appears. Hey, I have not gone, I am here only. When she was sitting in the train, very much sad, and in that sadness, her body became emaciated, golden bangle was about to fall from her hand. Sri Ram Krishna appeared and told, Sarada, bangle is going to fall. How much attachment you see. Then when Swami Vivekananda wanted to select Bhavahari Baba, Sadhu as his guru, 41 times he appeared. Every time he appeared to obstruct his effort. While living to Madhur Babu, he appeared as Shiva, as Devi, like that. And when Hriday was doing Durga Puja somewhere else, Sri Ramakrishna was staying in Dakshineshwar. Suddenly, in Hriday's Durga Puja, he appeared. How it is possible? Because it is Mayikam Tanuhu. Mayikam Shariram. It is not Pancha Bhautikam Shariram. It is Mayikam Shariram. Therefore, Chidghana Kayaha means embodiment of consciousness. Embodiment means body. So, Ishvara's body and Avatara's body appear, disappear, appear simultaneously to many people in many places, appear in various forms. Therefore it is called Avirbhavam. Human beings' appearance in this world is called Jananam. Human beings' appearance in this world is called Jananam. Disappearance is called Maranam. But Ishvara's appearance or Avatara's appearance is called Avirbhavam. Ishvara's disappearance or Avatara's disappearance is called Tirobhavam. Even after giving up their physical form, as long as this creation exists, they can appear and give darshan to the devotees. When Ramji lived, we don't know. Lakhs and lakhs of years before. But he can appear to Tulasidas. When Krishna lived 5,000 years before, he can appear to Mirabai, to all of us also, provided if we are that much devoted. So therefore, all these manifestations are called Avirbhavam, not Jananam. That's why Bhagavan laments. These fellows don't understand me, Arjuna. Avajananti mamuda manushim tanum ashitam. Just because I also appear as human being, they consider me as human being. Avajananti mam muda. These idiots. They insult me. Avajananti. Manushim tanum ashitam iti avajananti. They think that I am also a dying human being. Parambhavam ajanantaha. Mama bhuta maheshwaram. I am the Maheshwara of the entire creation. That bhava, that fact, they are ignorant of. In another place, Bhagavan says, Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayaha parambhavam ajanantaha mama avyayam anuttamam. As even I appear, I don't disappear from Vaikuntha Loka. Suppose Bhagavan comes from Vaikuntha Loka, suppose. Is he absent there? No. Even when he is taking avatara in this creation, in this world, still he lives in Vaikuntha. So that is their grandness. That's why Upanishad says, his appearance and disappearance are called Avirbhavam and Tirobhavam because it is Mayikam. Ajayamano Bahuta Vijayate. Beautiful statement. Ajayamanaha San Bahuta Vijayate. He doesn't have any birth. At the same time, Bahuda Vijayate. Vishesha Rupena Jayate Vijayate. Bahuta Jayate. He appears in many forms. So, the meaning of the first word is what? Chidghana Kayaha means embodiment of pure consciousness. Second word we will go. Jagabhushanaha. This word also has two meanings. First word also had two meanings. One meaning is Ishvara, another meaning is Avatara. This word also has two meanings. By deriving in two methods. One method is called Bahuvrihi Samasa. Another method is called Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. Those who know Sanskrit, they can understand. Bahuvrihi Samasa, Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa. That's the beauty of Sanskrit language. Other languages also have this type of various meanings for one word. Critical is an English word. Critical. If the doctor says, it has one meaning. The patient is critical. The word critical, if it is told by atomic scientists, that means the experiment is successful. Similarly, here also, Jagabhushanaha. One meaning is, Jagat yasya bhushanam Jagabhushanam. Creation is the ornament of Ishvara. Yasya Ishvarasya. For whom, for which Lord this Jagat is Bhushanam. Bhushanam means ornament. So here Saguna Ishvara is mentioned. Entire creation is an ornament to the Lord, is an ornament to Ishvara, is an ornament to Saguna Brahman, is an ornament to God. Like an ornament, this creation is full of varieties. How many varieties of ornaments are possible? Infinite varieties. Correct? If you go to Lalita Jewellers, Kalyan Jewellers, you will know how many varieties of jewelries are possible. Ornaments are possible. For ears one type of ornament, for nose another type. I think for tongue alone nothing has come. People could find out a place for ornaments in the entire body. Only for tongue they could not find out. Even for lips they had. Correct? Even for lips they have. Only for tongue it is absent. So ornament is full of varieties. Similarly, creation also full of varieties. Achintya Rachana Vaibhavam, Shankaracharya says. You cannot even imagine how many varieties are there. You take a small ant. How many varieties of ants? Black ant, red ant, white ant, with big head, with big tail. You take the birds. How many varieties of birds? Aquatic creatures, fishes, how many varieties? So Achintya Rachana Vaibhav. You take human species. All have one head, two eyes, one nose, 2 ears. Correct? But one person's eyes are not similar to another person's eyes. That much of varieties are. Like ornament, this creation is full of varieties. Like the ornament is well designed, this creation also is well designed. Any ornament is well designed. It will have particular shape, particular form, nicely designed. What do you call by ornament? In an ornament, say for example necklace. What are there? Lot of things are there. Gold is there, precious gems are there, other materials also is there. Then only pure gold you cannot make as ornament. So all are intelligently put together. Similarly the creation also, anything you take, it is intelligently put together. You take this body. What is human body? What is human body? So many things are there, intelligently put together. What is car? What is car? Steering is car, tires are car, body is car, chair is car, all put together is called car. Alright, you put all together and try to fire it. What will happen? It will not move, it will burst. So therefore intelligently put together. What should be put where? How it should function? Everything is intelligently put together. Nama Rupabhyam Vyakritam Jagat. This Jagat is well designed. That's why Upanishad says, Yadvai Tat Sukrutam. You cannot touch anything. My teacher used to say this. Suppose a person has a sneezing problem because of allergy. Whenever he smells somebody smoking, immediately he gets a sneezing. So that person thinks, what this God, useless fellow. He could have put the nose above the head. Like chimney, you know the chimney? Like chimney, whatever is smoken, the smoke will go above. Now it comes in front of another people because it is in front of the face. If I would have been God, or if I have been given any chance, next creation, I will make human beings nose on the top of the head. Then that fellow, imagine how it would have been nice if the nose are kept on the top of the head. Then his imagination was expanding. Suppose if I want to have a coffee, how will I have it? Because mouth is front side of the face. Nose is top of the head. And the person has allergy for tea. So in order to know whether it is tea or coffee, what he should do? Every time he takes coffee, he has to bring the cup of the coffee or the cup of the liquid near the nose. The nose will tell, no, I am turned upside. You have to show to me properly. How to show the liquid to the nose which is turned upside? You have to do abhisheka. Coffee abhisheka will happen. So, yadvai tat sukrutam. You cannot touch anything. Suppose if you are not satisfied with the nose, length of the nose, little bit, 1 centimeter you add. How you will be looking? Like Garuda you will be looking. You reduce 1 centimeter, how you will be looking? Like owl you will be looking. You increase the size of the ears, how you will be looking? Like elephant god, Ganesha you will be looking. Okay? So everything is perfect. Yadvai tat sukrutam. Like ornament, this creation also is well designed. Like ornament, the creation is subject to arrival and departure. When the golden ornament becomes old, what advertisement we receive? Give back your old ornament, take the new. That means what? It is subject to arrival and departure. Similarly, the world also is subject to arrival and departure. Srishti, sthiti for some time, then laya happens. Then, like ornament, the world is karyam. Ornament is a product. Similarly, the creation also is karyam. If ornament is the product of gold, the creation is the product of Maya karyam. Is the product of Maya. That's why Bhagavan can say, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. Like ornament cannot affect the person who wears it. Similarly, the creation also cannot affect the Lord. Suppose an ornament is there, a ring is there. Can it destroy the person? No, it cannot affect. It cannot trouble. Similarly, the creation also cannot trouble because asangoyam purushaha. Ornament has existence only when there is a conscious person to wear it. Similarly, creation also has an existence only there is consciousness to prove its existence. Ornament is the possession of the person who is possessing it. Similarly, creation also is the possession of the Swami. Bhagavan is called Swami. All the creatures are called Dasas. Understand? More details we will see in the next class. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampat hrida vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namami.